Well, you know, a director's he's a nurse, he's a psychologist, he's a mother, a father. He has to be a magician. He has to be careful that he elicits the performance from you. It's like a turtle. If the turtle is putting his head out and you hit, it goes in. Now that director has to bring out of the actor. There are various ways.
If you're playing a scene between a man and a woman, and it's obvious that there is, you know, one director can say you're in love with her. Well, how can an actor play I'm in love? But if the director says, listen very intently and very closely to what she has to say, and be amused or be captivated or take great pleasure or relish in that, then you've really got a sense of intimacy and intellectuality in the scene automatic. Now, if you say, listen very closely, and the person has to say, the scene is very clear. Now, you can give the same actor, you can take the same actor in the same scene and just say, delight in the way she uses her body and the expression of her body. You got a whole different kind of, just measure her. Measure her for the bed. Find out whether she's going to fit in the bed. So all of a sudden you've got a completely different attitude about it.
You know, an actor can only do what an actor believes in at the moment. And sometimes you have to make a choice as a director between sacrificing a little bit of your own concept and having it done in good quality, or forcing an actor into a straitjacket and making them do something that just goes against them in every way. You know, you can beat an actor into a performance. It won't be a very good one. It won't be a performance that the actor believes in. This is why I say casting is so important. You shouldn't get into that situation if you've cast well. Theoretically, you're casting a person whose instincts are going to be already close to what you feel the part is in some way.
Well, I think that the relationship between actors and directors is usually pretty bad anywhere. Occasionally it's good and then it's wonderful, but that can happen in television or in a film or on the stage, and it's an unusual thing, I think, where there's a real kind of community of spirit where it's mutually helpful.
There are directors who are just absolutely insensitive to the delicacy of what the emotional life of an actor is like at the moment of a performance. And when a director demonstrates that kind of insensitivity, it's very hard for the actor not to be disrespectful, not to be angry.
It's impossible for even the best actor to work with a terrible director. Well, but if he has the right kind of training, the well-trained actor can work with an incompetent director quite competently and get his work done. There is, by definition, a community experience. The best experience is where the actor feeds off the director and the director feeds off the actors, and the playwright learns something from the interchange between all of these people. It's a real community experience, unlike painting, unlike writing a novel.
Hi, Actor Studio. Okay, you should come in and pick up an application. We have applications that we at the desk here, and you can, and we'll set up a time for an audition through the course of the year. Okay. It'll be up to about a year before you're actually called to the audition. Well, no, they have auditions periodically through about once or twice a month. Now you have to pass one audition. It's just passing that one audition that's a little difficult. Okay.
I asked you to fix me.
I'm making it for you. Oh.
I didn't. And you get all pissed off.
Want to start to death?
That's what you like, isn't it? Yeah. That'd solve everything, wouldn't it? Maybe I don't like the way it's cooked.
No.
Okay, good.
Got it.
First of all, it's a scene from a novel, right? So, I mean, it's not for the theater. Well, at least it wasn't intended that way. So to break the tension, and because you know each other, you have a certain familiarity with one another, you do things like laugh, you know, and touch each other and try to calm each other down as if it were a tense situation, like a date, you know? But it's not.
Nobody asked you to fix me anything.
I'm making it. You'd drink yours, wouldn't you? You just didn't drink yours.
Then I won't eat it if you feel that way about it.
I'm cooking it for you. That's why I'm making it. For you. I can't eat all this myself.
I didn't say anything, and you get that pissed off.
Again, Scott, what I'm going to ask you to do is probably going to be the hardest thing that anyone's ever asked you to do, because what I'm going to ask you to do is to do nothing. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be tricky for you because I can see the animal in you, you know, that wants to just come out and break into the rage, you know. But what's going to happen is if you go to that now, it's not going to have the kind of layers and the textures that we want to get eventually. You have as a person that I know from knowing you that you have. The sweetness and the beauty of the guy, you know. I mean, because he's coming home to make her dinner. And at every opportunity he's thwarted by her. Right? I mean, that's basically what we get from the situation. He really wants to make her dinner. And I think we discussed this before. Why does he want to make her dinner? To, you know, make her happy. I mean, what is food? Right? Meat. You know, and a boxer supposedly needs meat and this kind of thing. You know, that's what he's coming in with very wholesome intentions. Just read the words as calmly and as cleanly and as clearly to one another as possible. That's all I want.
Did Earl get out of the bucket?
Huh?
Was Earl here today?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me?
He was just here long enough to get his stuff.
Do you remember you?
He didn't remember you.
But did he remember me?
I don't know if he remembered you. What do you care?
He remembered you. That's easy enough to see.
So let's say that she has slept with Earl.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say that Earl's been in prison for a while, so he hasn't had any sex, at least with a woman, for a long time. So he gave you the orgasm of your life. You know? And that's put you in a particular state of mind. And what do you want him to do?
What do I want?
Well, what do you think she's
Well,
alcoholic.
I want him, well, what we talked about before, I want
She
him
wants
to
him to join in
come
with
into
her.
into my state of mind, which is just feeling really good. Just,
What does she want, though, Francis? What does she want?
to make love.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
Did Earl come in?
Okay, good. Let's go back. It's a great beginning. No, it is. It's really, really wonderful. Now, all I want you to do is, when you lean down and you kiss her, and then you realize you smell this other man,
Right.
then I want you to find something else that tells you that he's been here.
Is Earl out of the bucket? Was Earl here?
What are all these questions?
Okay? And again, you know, you're still trying to maintain a happy face, and you're trying to cheer her up, and you're trying to be effervescent, the effervescent husband home with the steak dinner, you know? I think it requires you now to begin to appear to get yourself together. You know what I mean? He's obviously not going to jump in bed with you and have a drink and make love to you. He's going to make dinner and sit down and drink milk. He's made that very clear.
Right.
So when you say, what's with all the questions, I think that the way to respond to that is by moving yourself physically into a different space.
Right. I told you it's close. He knew I was with you. How do you know that? I saw him before.
Yeah, and again, these are city people, and city people, urban people have a rhythm. They have a rhythm. There's a snap to their language, you know. That I know that's for later on down the road, but it's just something to keep in mind. Hold the script in your hand. I don't care.
When actors know what they're doing and they understand the process that is involved in the creative process in bringing a play or a film to fruition, then they take part in it. Actors who don't know what they're doing report to work and they do whatever the director tells them, and that's it. And when actors are trained, there are more things that occur to them. They have more choices. They have to offer a director. They could say, do you want this or this or this or this? And they have a whole bouquet. One plastic flower.
Good evening, and welcome once again to the Masterpiece Theater. I'm Neville Montgomery, substituting for the vacationing Alistair Cook. Tonight, part 2 of Hamlet, A Critic's Journey of Understanding. This evening, we will examine Hamlet's mysterious delay in fulfilling his revenge. This delay has led to much critical speculation about the so-called problem of Hamlet, the whole play's mysterious quality. The various investigations of the characters being seen to point to the deeper mystery of reality, which is concentrated in the mysterious figure of the ghost and the ironic workings of Providence. Now, Hamlet has come to Elsinore to... I beg your pardon.
Shut up.
Look, who do you think you are bursting in here to this show? I'll have you thrown off the set. Could you get these gentlemen out of here, please?
You ain't throwing nobody nowhere.
Get these gentlemen out of here,
We're tired of hearing all that noise, mysterious, this, Providence, that. So Neville, or whatever your name really is, sit down, relax, learn something new for a change. Hit it.
Long time ago, happened in a foreign land. Things went down, they can understand. The scholars and the critics have written ever since was a man in sin or just a lame dumb prince. That situation is strictly for the birds, cause the man's right here, rappers on words. My name is Hamlet, got a story to tell. My uncle played nice but didn't wish me well. People thought it was nuts, my behavior uncool. But some people cross the line, broke a lot of golden rule. You can make up your mind without or through. So let me rap my rap without further ado. Rap, 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 rap Hamlet, rap, 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 rap Hamlet, rap, 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 rap Hamlet, rap. He's fine, he's lying, now he's dying. You gave the man what the man deserved. He's fine, he's lying, but now he's dying. You gave the man what the man deserved.
In Shakespeare's time, the language that we find very flowery, the verse, was the spoken language. So, and it was common. The language I'm using in Rap Hamlet is common.
Then my father died in a very strange way, and I have my suspicions he left with foul play. Cause I went into a trance, my daddy's ghost dead. He told me a story that don't need to be enhanced. See, my uncle's a creep. I Can't trust my mother. He poisoned my dad, took my mother as his luck.
Rap music, I'd like to say, is a very, comes from the black culture. There are some white people who do it, but it definitely started, it's had its roots in the black culture. It's very urban. It's a new expression of their plight. Okay, that was the last one.
Poor baby. Oh. Mwah. Well.
Okay, that's good. On that cross in the thing about poor baby, make more of that.
Yeah.
You know, more you poor. It really, in other words, the point being that you're trying to kid him out of it, you know, as well as.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it again.
Oh, mwah. Is that better? Hmm? Kiss it
No.
and make it well?
Yeah. Are the prelims over, huh? Can we get down to the main event?
What's the rush?
Now listen, Sharon. Fess up, huh? You did come here to get laid, didn't you?
Yes,
Hmm? So?
but I haven't seen you for a year and a half. You might have caught some new diseases.
No, I don't have any minor ailments. Yeah.
I didn't mean that. You know,
I know. I know. You weren't being insensitive. You were just being impulsive.
You said
Now,
something.
hold it. There's got to be more kissing on the mouth here. Can we have a couple of kisses? Really passionate kisses there? And also, I didn't like the way you cross onto the table. It still looks as if you're just getting set.
Okay. You said something about a main event just now?
I'd like to wait till hearing is restored.
Just a few years ago, we reestablished something that we'd started a long time ago and left behind, of a group of playwrights and directors who would work together and actually produce plays, maybe in their beginnings, maybe just a reading, maybe just a first draft. And we would afterwards have discussions of what we thought of these productions. Sometimes the playwrights were very put out and baffled by what we said because we were very strong in our opinions.
You have a lot of space here.
No, not that much. This room is the entire apartment. A steal, $2,000 a month.
Wow. Oh, so this is the bedroom, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place to hide.
Make you nervous?
You always make me nervous.
Well, don't be. No. I've been declawed.
Son of a gun. You notice I haven't asked. I'm not being nosy. I'm letting you explain that weird and somewhat disgusting remark about being declawed all by yourself with no pressure at all from me.
Vasectomy.
Oh. That's interesting. Why did you do that?
I found out I have a hereditary disease. No, I'm not joking.
No?
Well, this is some sort of a degenerative neural losers.
I'm really sorry. It must be awful for you.
Kiss me. Just like old times. Take shoes off, stay wild.
Sure. Just lie real still.
Lady, you are a vicious piece of ass. Oh, 5 minutes of this, I'll have a break.
You're doing just fine.
I've gone.
What?
I want a cigarette.
Now, right this minute?
Oh, God, yes. But I gave them up.
Oh.
Oh, but I want one. Oh. I used to smoke a lot, huh?
Yes, come to think of it.
Did I smoke after sex?
I don't know. I never looked.
Well, I'm gonna smoke.
No, you're not. You quit.
I am too.
There aren't any.
I have some in the freezer.
Good.
Let me have one cigarette.
No.
Please. Just one.
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Bulwark and strict.
Don't worry about it.
I'm just standing between a desperate man and his smoke.
Okay, Uncle, I give up. You've been in training.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. You had me pinned and totally helpless, and you got up to get cigarettes? You need help.
Hey, no fair. Come on, hand him over. Hey, come on, no. Get him over. Give me the cigarettes.
Beg me.
Please, please, give me the cigarettes. Please.
What do you do for them? Maybe.
Will you still love me tomorrow?
Yes, but I won't respect you.
All right. I give up. Uncle.
Eddie.
No.
No, but Eddie said Uncle. No.
Ha ha! Gotcha.
That's no fair. You said Uncle.
Why?
You cheat. No fair. You think
Let me throw it open to discussion. Joseph?
This would absolutely terrorize me if these were not two people that had met before. This is what threw me. These were a couple very early on, we are told, a year and a half previously, she had walked out, she'd had enough and she'd walked out while he was in the John or shaving, whatever it was. Therefore, I say to myself, what they have a right to expect what is going to happen between them. Their characters, their quirks, their phobias, their bestialities, if you like, are revealed to each other. So that first there's shock, then there's recognition, so this can play against something for the actor and for the play and for the theater audience.
Let me interrupt
So
you,
this-
Joe.
this is within-
Just at this point, before we come to offering a prescription,
No,
for it,
but-
which is a very wise prescription.
The thing I missed.
Let's try and find out what the response was, whether there was a common response. Bill.
Is very talented, and I was just bored to death. Ultimately, here, there weren't enough surprises. It was just a matter of sitting here while the mechanics had played out. Who's going to terrify who? What's the parry going to be? What's the thrust going to be? Blah, 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 blah. I didn't know if they'd live or die, and ultimately I didn't care because it didn't have any surprises once the initial surprises are played out. But beautifully done, I thought.
Yeah. Does this come as a surprise to you, or something you anticipated? Or?
I could tell you what I wanted, but first I'd like to hear more from you.
I'd like to hope that today we have a proper forum to really address some directorial attitudes and questions and responses. But also, clearly, the playwright will not escape.
What irritated me very much was I just felt myself the way he wanted a cigarette in that play, I wanted some social context. Middle-class people used to sue each other, and lower-class people would beat each other up, but only the aristocracy would have games like that. Now we've got a class of yuppies coming along who will ape the aristocrats, but I would have loved that in the play. I think it would have raised the play a level. If they'd just been a social context, here they are in this hideous high-rise apartment, this hideous plastic universe. Of course they're claustrophobic. Of course they get into this sort of situation. But none of this was this was indicated, but then it was not used, and it kept coming in and out of that. And I felt finally that, as a member of the audience, I had to do 3/4 of that social work. I would prefer to have done 1/4 of the social work. There simply isn't a high acid focus on this. And so it's always in danger of being a conversation, and Kazan has told us, and we agree, conversation is not theater. And then it's a conversation with sudden dramatic grand guignol elements of grand guignol, and then it's back to conversation again. There's got to be some maniacal social edge to it. That's my tentative conclusion.
There was a captivating part to this play that was engaging. There's a sizable amount of dexterity that has been employed in the dialogue, in the exchanges, in the moments, and all of that has a great deal of vitality and life to it. And I think it was extremely well realized by Ed and the actors in those first 30 minutes. Bill.
Yeah, I thought it was directed as if it were a Broadway comedy like The Voice of the Turtle or anything like that in the first section there. And I didn't believe, I couldn't believe it because the guy was such a maniac. And if it were directed more as a Pinter play might be, I might accept the situation. But this way it seemed just unbelievable. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
That's a subjective reaction for me. I don't know. Some people think it was beautiful, some people hate it. Fine. What I want to know is specifically what you saw going on in the direction. Was it completely general? Did you get no specificity of a relationship between these two people? That's what I would like to hear from, you know. Not whether the direction was good, not whether it was misdirected, what you saw.
They were swinging. That's what you can direct. There's no tentative feeling out. There's no sizing up the opponent.
I made that choice. Right, good, wrong, bad. That's what I wanted. Who knows what it's going to be a little later? When I stage the whole play, I'll look at it, and if I want to modify it, I'll modify it. You know?
That was going to be what you directed, quite rightly, at a very frenetic pace. But I didn't know about that year and a half and everything that went on then. I didn't know what they were paying each other off for.
Until you do make that determination, you can't decide what the first beat is about, or the second beat is about, or the third beat is about, because you don't know where you're going. It's basically you're driving down a road without a map or a plan, you know? So I think you really need to go back and start at the end and say, what is it about, you know?
I am tied to the idea of making this like a Waiting for Godot kind of, they will never leave. We will keep doing this and keep doing this until we die and rot, and this is the way the world is. I think that my own purposes would be better served by abandoning that and trying to write a straightforward narrative. I would adopt your suggestion that they hadn't met before, so we would find out about them from the get-go freshly, and I would try and write it in a direct narrative line, so there would be a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Well, I think that was a very interesting session, however, and I found it a great benefit to have Mankiewicz back. Needless to say, you got off more or less unscathed. He was not in his characteristic. Rid your wit. Yeah. No play, no session next week. It's Memorial Day. Have a nice long weekend. Have to sum up. There's not much to sum up. Everybody's been summing up. Clearly, it seems to me there are two issues. The one introduced by Joe Mankiewicz, which is if this were a first-time event rather than some kind of repetition event, certainly that would perhaps relieve the sense that there was an unspoken revenge motive here that was operating that somehow never particularly as a revenge motive surfaced. It was a constant in the play. The other is the one that Norman talked about, which is the social context. The third point, which is that there's something about the immediacy of that broken glass on the floor with two actors in bare feet that brought that wonderful characteristic of danger to the play in such a way as to be, as in its eloquence, as to diminish some of the events that were being enacted in the play. The clarity, the simplicity of that specific, of that broken glass on the floor. There was something, one, there was something real about it, but two, there was something pristine and immaculate and precise rather than generalized and where we didn't have to know what the boundaries were. The boundaries were very clear. If you step on the glass, you're going to cut your foot. Don't step on the glass. That was it. And it was very clear. In the dramatic events, it was, if you fuck me over, I'm going to fuck you over, but I don't know what you're going to do that. And I don't know whether you're going to raise the stakes. And if you raise the stakes, I don't know how high I'm going to go. And pretty soon, you were out of it. Then it struck me that, and I wouldn't know the solution to this, except probably I would have probably modified it and probably come in a little more sneakily, but probably with the same outcome. So I can't suggest that there's a clear prescription for the direction here. I thought it was inventive, beautifully enacted by the actors, and I think that sums it up for the day. Okay? Not next week, the week after.
Actor Studio, may I help you? Okay, hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, Giselle, can you make one copy of the check and the letter and bring it back to me? Sure. Okay. What line is he on?
Line 0. Uh-huh. Oh, that's great. Okay, I'll have her call you.
Excuse me.
Okay. Thank you. Call Jacqueline.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as possible. She'll be home this afternoon.
Kind of just goes on, and the playwright directors unit is being revised again. And I wanted him to know that Scorsese and Coppola are going to become involved in that. I thought he'd be very interested in that.
He's sending it to us, which is great.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great. So, that can, are you going to wait and put that with the Modern Age order too?
Yeah.
My name is Karen, and I'm a working observer at the Actors Studio. I started working there about 4 months ago, in the end of January. I'm also a student at Hunter College, and I've been living in New York about 9 months. I just moved here from a small town named Worthington, Minnesota, out to the city. I think some of my mom's friends think she's crazy for letting me come out here, but I love it out here. I really like it, and I love working at the studio. I guess what I am getting most from the studio is probably watching the playwright directors units, because that's what I want to do someday, is to be a director, but I'd like to be an actress first. I auditioned for the first time last Friday, and I got my letter today, and I didn't pass. But I guess most people don't make it on their first audition, so I guess I'll go back next year. This is where we shot the opening scene to the film. The actress comes from around the corner, and she walks down the road here, and there's 2 men seated at a park bench right there. And she follows the path and walks over up onto the bridge over there. This is my first film, and we shot it in 16mm black and white, and it's silent.
Years after college, I came here and was working on my play, The Deer Park, here. Bancroft acted in it, and Kevin McCarthy, and a few other actors of considerable stature. So I had the experience of working with wonderful actors, extraordinary actors, at a very early stage of something. And so that was great fun. Strasberg used to teach here then, and that was fascinating because it was a language I didn't understand at all. And I used to resent it very much. As a novelist, I used to find it offensive that actors would talk to one another in a language I could not follow. And it took me years to get to like actors. Recently, to bring this part of my story up to date, I directed my first stage play here, which was an adaptation of my own work, Strawhead. And I worked with the actors as a director and came to love them in the sense of understanding why actors do talk the way they do, and began to have some sympathy for the difficulty of being an actor. Novelists almost always are blind to actors' needs because, you know, we have the page to work with, and it has all the disadvantages of an empty page, but it also has all the power on a day when we can write. We're the most powerful people in the world because we don't have to deal with anyone else but ourselves. And after 40 years of being a novelist, I'm a little weary at times of the loneliness of that. So I love working here.
I think people are really getting tired of baby food theater. And I think there's going to be a resurgence of the theater of thought and the theater of emotion and the theater of intellect, something that we're getting away from. I hope we're in the resurgence of that kind of theater. And the studio will be there to train and to retrain and to improve the craft of the actors who work there.
we have is unique. I mean, we have a membership set up with, I think, a group of some of the best actors in the world, where it costs no money for the actor to train, where one is completely protected against commercial pressures, where one can take chances, one can fall on one's face, and one can learn from where we learn from each other in a way. And it's quite unique. It's been unique for years, and I think it's very, very important to keep it alive and energetic and going on. For that, we've got to keep raising money.
People have an idea that pennies drop from heaven, and they don't really, because we've had to scratch for our very existence from the very beginning, and thankfully we have received help from the major film studios and from private sources. People like Paul Newman, Dustin Hoffman, Al Pacino, Bobby De Niro, Sidney Pollack, Frank Perry, among others, there are many others, have contributed and been most helpful. The moderators, we have the most talented members moderating: Ellen Burstyn, who's our artistic director, Lee Grant, Shelley Winters, Elia Kazan, Arthur Penn. People of that caliber, they all come and they give of their time and talent free. It is all done with a great deal of love.
About the time I arrived, we had a secretary who couldn't type, so that was the first problem. Nothing seemed to work. The Xerox machine always broke. We had plaster falling down from the ceilings. Ceilings in the back room were collapsing. One day, just on an intuition, I brought a structural engineer in to inspect the upstairs over the theater. We had big beams across the theater to support it, because this is built like a church, you know, with that kind of raked ceiling. And they find out that the building is about to fall down. That the engineer looked at me and he said, this place is a structural anomaly. There's no reason that the building should be standing, but for some reason it stands. He said, there's no weight supports another weight, but it just keeps standing. So we had to immediately evacuate the building, and we had to find other quarters, and we never missed a session. That's the spirit of the place that's so wonderful, despite all of these things.
We have 4 new members this year and 17 finalists. And for anybody who doesn't know, finalists are people who have been invited to observe for a year and to work with a member if they would like to, and take another final again next year. Our 4 new members are, first of all, Ms. Kelly Curtis. Will you come up here, please?
Thank you, and I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very, very, very proud to be a member of the Actors Studio! Yay!
Scott Plank.
I'm so honored. I mean, I'll do my best to keep the high standard of this place. I mean, what it is and what it was and what it always will be in my heart. I mean it.
Corey Parker.
I just want to say thank you, and it's a dream come true. Thank you.
And Bert Young.
Thank you very much. And it's really
One of the things about the studio that has been very important for me is not when I'm having a big success, not when my film is going very well or my plays are going very well, but when I have a failure, when I have something which didn't work and I don't know why, but something is, the critics don't like it, the public doesn't come or whatever, and you walk the streets of an absolutely lonely person. Well, if you come to the studio, there are so many comforting friends here, people who understand that experience, who have been through it themselves. And it's not uncommon for actors who are world famous to come here after a film of theirs has failed or they've gotten bad criticism, to come here and seek the companionship of other friends and other artists who understand that peculiar sense of irrational shame that you feel when something you've done in public has not succeeded, has failed. It may not be your fault, but only another artist who goes through that understands that.
I don't know what the future will bring, but the reason we're here still and persisting is not because of any one individual, not because of the influence of anybody, not because of her or me or Ellen or anybody. The reason we're here is that we satisfy a true need at the right time in the right place. And as long as actors and playwrights and directors want to get together and work, this place will always exist. So I feel confident that it has proved its worth and has its worth now.